On today's video, I'm going to give you a breakdown of one of the best motorcycle rallies in the world. People come from all around the world to visit Daytona Beach Bike Week. But it is much more than just Daytona. I'm also going to get into many misconceptions people have, though this is my perspective. So stick around if you love motorcycles, traveling, and are wanting to jump on your motorcycle and break away from the cold. Hey, how you doing? This is Bronx Brothers Motorcycles and my name is Richie. And on today's video, I want to give you a rundown on my perception of Daytona Beach Bike Week. Now, I'm what you would call a veteran. I've been going to Daytona Beach Bike Week since 2007. So, there are certain things that I've seen on other people's videos that I just don't relate to. In other words, the way they see things is not necessarily the way I see it. So let me go down the list and give you an explanation of what I'm talking about. First of all, brands. It doesn't matter what type of motorcycle you ride, everyone is invited to Daytona. So if you have a three-wheeler, if you have a chopper, if you have a Harley, a Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Ducati, Can-Am, whatever you have, you're invited to the party. So, as a matter of fact, at what's called the Speedway, they have all the major manufacturers there. And vendors. There's vendors for all types of motorcycle parts and accessories and gear. If you're looking for a nice Honda Goldwing jacket, you're going to find it. You're looking for a BMW jacket, you're gonna find it. As a matter of fact, about 2 years ago, I saw a cool BMW GS with a sidecar ready to go off-road with. That was really cool. So, just to give you an idea of what Daytona Beach is like. So, the other thing is, other than brands, is who are the people that go. You have all types of people attending Daytona Beach Bike Week from around the world. I've met people from England and Germany and a few other countries. And I'm the kind of guy, I talk to everybody. So when I notice somebody with a heavy foreign accent, I greet them. I'm like, hey, how's it going? That usually turns into a small conversation and they tell me, this has been my dream to come to Daytona Beach Bike Week. And here I am. The guy from Germany, he comes every year with his wife. They thoroughly enjoy it. They ride up and down Florida and they attend Bike Week. Now, that's the different kind of people that you meet. You have husband and wives, you have single people, you have people like myself who goes with my brother, my nephews, my cousins. We take the whole family. It's just a family affair for us. A bunch of us ride and we go down each year. Now, how do we get there? So this year is a little bit different, and this may help some of you out, because for the past umpteenth years, either my brother or myself have driven down, and by that I mean his vehicle or mine, and we trailer down. Now this year, my vehicle has a few issues and I don't feel like testing it on the highway for 12 long hours. I say 12 hours because we go about an hour and a half south of Daytona. We go to a town called Melbourne. Anyhow, we're going to rent the vehicle. So, which we did today. We're renting a pickup truck and we're going to strap my trailer to it. And we're going to ride and we're going to drive down. Now, we rented the vehicle one way, it's $225, and coming back up, it's about $95. So, excellent deal in my opinion. Brand new vehicle, comfortable, we'll be able to take turns driving, the other guy can sleep, and that's what we plan on doing. Now, if you have a bunch of buddies, you guys can chip in. Somebody has the pickup truck, I'm going to put more gas than you because it's your vehicle. However you guys work it out. The thing is, If you really want to go, there's a way of getting there. Now, what to do when you get there? There's a lot to do. It's not just Daytona. And as a matter of fact, if you watch my last video on Daytona Beach Bike Week, the way we have been doing it, you'll see we don't stay in Daytona Beach. We drive and we ride an hour south to a town called Titusville. You could go to Orlando. In other words, we're there to ride. Why stay right in Daytona where the hotel rooms are extremely expensive? We ride an hour south. We get rooms for about 80 bucks, 85 bucks a night. We share the price of the room and we have a really good time. We're not spending, I've heard of some rooms costing up to $200 for a Roach Motel, if you know what I mean. Not the best of accommodations. So that's what we do to save money. Now, what else is there to do in Florida? There's a lot to do. You can go from Daytona north to St. Augustine. St. Augustine, beautiful town. It's the oldest fort in the United States. It was built by the Spaniards. It's a heck of a town, a lot of nice restaurants, a lot of sightseeing, a lot to do. Coming down, jump on A1A. A1A, if you don't know, is a 2-lane road and it hugs the coast. It'll take you right into Daytona. There's a lot of riding. Do your research. On YouTube, you can find a lot of ride videos in the Daytona area. The Ormond Loop is a big one. Anyhow, so that's the north part. If you head south, you got Cape Canaveral, you have Miami, there's the Florida Keys, which we do every year. We're going to the Florida Keys this year. We have a house rented, Airbnb, and we're going to spend 3 days there. Short pants, flip-flops, cruising around with no helmet. Speed limit's probably 25 miles per hour, so no need to get excited. We're not in a lot of danger. Anyhow, last year we went skydiving. There's a lot to do in the Keys. You don't have to go all the way to Key West. You can go to Marathon Key. Marathon Key is the biggest key in the Florida Keys, rather. So Key Largo. If you do plan on going to Key West, make sure you have accommodations. When you get there, there will be no rooms. I guarantee it. If you do find a room, plan on spending $500 a night. So that's the kind of ride. It takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Well, I would say 3 hours. It's 50 miles per hour and it's 100 miles long. So it's about 3 hours. You can't speed. You get tickets. So let's go back to Daytona now. What kind of people are at Daytona? So this is the reason that I decided to make this video. So there's a lot of misconception out there that it's all the biker kind of guys with tattoos. I don't have a tattoo on me. I've been going since 2007. So I don't have a beard. I do ride a Harley, but I also have Hondas. I have a Goldwing. I have BMW GS. I like motorcycles, period. My thing is motorcycles. Daytona Beach is for all types of motorcycles. You are not going to feel lesser than. Now, if you're the kind of person that feels intimidated or that hates Harley Davidsons, you may not want to show up, because I will tell you that 75% of the bikes there are Harley Davidson. But once you park that puppy, nobody cares. We're all walking and having a good time. Okay? So it's only from point A to point B that you're on your bike. And yes, there's a lot of nice places to ride, but nobody really cares what you're riding. You know, I'll tell you, for those of you guys that don't necessarily love Harley Davidsons, I would say probably 95% of the Harley riders started out on Japanese motorcycles and foreign motorcycles. Okay, I know that's where I started. My first few bikes were Hondas, then a Suzuki, then a Yamaha, and so on and so forth. It wasn't until about 6-7 years ago that I bought my first Harley. As a matter of fact, it was during COVID that I took my first Harley down to Florida. And I remember I did to it what I'm doing to this bike, which let me show you. So I got this bike completely apart, and I am resto modding it. For those of you who are into the car world, you know what I'm talking about. So I've taken it completely apart, and now I'm gonna give it my flavor, my look. This is my nephew's bike, by the way, but this is what I do, and I really enjoy it. So as of today, I have between now and Daytona Beach Bike Week to get this bike completed. And I also have to work on my own bike. So what bike am I taking? I'm not sure. Still working on that. It depends how fast I can get this one done. So the type of individuals that you're gonna find at Daytona Bike Week is everybody and anybody. There's women riders. I've seen some of the coolest things in Daytona, I tell you, if you've never been. So for example, I saw a guy with a little cage strapped to the back of his bike, and he had his dog back there. I've seen people riding where their dog is on their tank with a little helmet. Coolest thing ever. I've seen people pulling motorcycles, pulling trailers. I've seen sidecars. I've seen all brands of motorcycles. I've seen people who dress up. I saw one guy dressed up like an alligator. His tank on his motorcycle was alligator skin. The whole bike was wrapped in alligator skin. It had the tail of an alligator in the back. It was the craziest thing ever. I seen the craziest rat bike I ever seen in my life. Even in pictures, I saw it at Daytona Beach Bike Week. Now, is anybody gonna bother you? You have to feel intimidated. No. Now, I imagine we're all adults here. You're not gonna go into a bar and start talking crap about somebody's vest, about somebody's wife, about somebody's motorcycle brand, right? We want to live to see the next day, so we know how to behave. And that is the one thing that brought me to make this video. Is I was watching some videos of some guy saying, oh, you got to be real careful. Yes, you have to be real careful, but you don't have to be scared. You don't have to be afraid. It's not that type of world over there. Anybody fits in. Matter of fact, in 2008, I took my sister. Now, my sister is a very Christian woman. She would have never dreamed of going there. She lives in Florida. And I put her on my Goldwing, and I took her. And I took her up and down Main Street, and she was kind of beside herself. But she says, you know what? She says, it wasn't the end of the world. We're from New York City, so we've seen a little bit of everything. She said, it's not somewhere I want to go again, but I'm glad I went. I saw, now I know what it is. I didn't feel intimidated. I didn't feel in danger ever. It's you know, everybody's there to have a good time. Everybody's there for the same reason that you are there. So don't listen to the fear mongers. Don't listen to the people who are trying to put a damper on our day. You know, it is a nice place to attend if you like motorcycles like I like motorcycles, and brand is unimportant. You know, I like motorcycles. I like a BMW GS just as much as the BMW GS guys that's all they love likes. So if that makes any sense to you, I just love motorcycles. Now, the number one reason to go to Florida this time of year, unless you live in Florida, is the weather, especially from the north. So the weather's going to be fantastic. In Daytona, in the daytime, it's about 70 degrees. Now, I will say bring all of your gear. Bring hot weather gear, bring cold weather gear, and bring your rain gear, because you never know what to expect. So in the daytime, you're gonna get sunburned. At night, it's gonna get cool. You're gonna have to put your leather jacket on, or whatever jacket you have. So that is the weather. It has rained. Now, I've never had a whole week of a rain out, but it's Florida. You get these passing showers. We've had one whole day of rain, but not the whole week. Now, the other thing that's important to say is police. There's plenty of them. They're all over the place. Now, being honest, and I'm not a cop hater. I have family who are cops. I'm pro cop, but the cops in Florida, in Daytona Beach Bike Week, they are on a mission to write tickets. As long as you do everything by the book, they're not going to bother you. Now, if you start horsing around, doing a burnout, these are the main things. You do a burnout, if you excessive noise, if you do anything dangerous on your bike, that's when you'll get pulled over. And I have the perfect story for you. So, back in the day, about, I don't know, 10 years ago, there's a place everybody used to congregate at, all the sport bikes, and it was Hess on International Boulevard. And I was leaving the Hess, and I decided to do a burnout. Just hold the front brake, smoke the back tire. There were some guys there that looked like your average biker. They had no colors or patches, but I remember one guy had a black leather vest, the other guy had a regular jacket on, like a riding jacket. There was three of them, and the third guy had a regular riding jacket. And when I did that rolling burnout, those guys opened their jackets lickety split and showed me their badge and their guns, and they were like, "Shut it off." And I shut it off, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, my bad, I got a little excited, I'm doing a burnout." And they're like, "Well, you know, if we let you do a burnout, imagine, we're trying to keep control in this place, we're trying to keep this place under control, we can't let people get away with this kind of behavior." So they asked me for my driver's license and everything like that, and I don't have any tickets, I have a good record. They called it in, and they're like, "Look, we're gonna let you go, but please don't do this foolishness again." And I was like, "Yes, sir, with all respect," and they let me go. But that's how fast it happens. The least guy you expect is a cop, undercover cop, and they're just looking for, I don't know, stolen bikes and things like that, but they're also looking for people doing what I did. And if I would have gotten a ticket that day, I earned it, I would have deserved it, but they gave me a break, I will say. So, the cops in Daytona Beach Bike Week, they are looking for troublemakers, they're looking for people doing stupid stuff, they're looking for people who are riding while drunk. Now, you don't see a bunch of, I've never seen anybody riding while drunk. Now, there are accidents every year. It's 500,000 motorcycles. So, yes, there's going to be accidents, especially newbies, right? First time, you know, first few months on a motorcycle, they go down there, they think it's you know, freedom and do whatever you want, and they find out real quick and they get into an accident. So, it is exciting, it gets the adrenaline going with 500,000 motorcycles. Everywhere you go, there's going to be motorcycles. Everybody is friendly. There's motorcycle clubs. They don't bother you, you don't bother them. They get along. I say hi to everybody. I say hi to everybody. Now again, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to go into a bar where there's a bunch of clubs. You know, and for those of you that ride with clubs, you can wear your patch. You know, there's a lot of different clubs that ride down there. There's everything from Goldwing clubs, which is a Goldwing clubs, it's a goody two shoes, and there's 1%ers. So there's hog chapters, and there's everything and all in between. So feel free to take your colors respectfully. If you're in a club, you know all about that respect stuff. So I don't have to preach to you. And that's the motorcycle world. You respect them, they're going to respect you. And that's all to it. There's no attitudes there. Everybody's there to have a good time. Am I trying to convince you to go to Daytona Beach Bike Week? Yes, I am. I think you can make it happen. I tell you, once you go, you kind of be hooked. Because during the winter, and this is winter time, it's the first week in March, it's the only place in the country that has some kind of bike event, and where you can go anywhere in the state and there's going to be a bunch of bikes and you're going to feel welcome. We ride from top to bottom, side to side. We usually do the Gulf Coast. This year we're going to ride A1A all the way down from St. Augustine all the way to the tip of Florida, and beyond into Key West. So we're just going to take the whole right coast and go all the way down. That's our plan for this year. So I hope that this video has motivated you to start thinking about Bike Week. You have about 6 or 7 weeks before it's time to go. Get with your friends, start talking about it, make it happen. For those of you who have gone to Daytona Beach Bike Week, I probably said something that you don't agree with. I probably said something that you have a different perception of. So to help all these people out, and this is why I made this video, is I didn't agree with a few videos that I just watched on their perception. To help the new people out, go in the comments and write down your views of how things are. Write down probably what are the best rides, where are the best hotels at, where's the cheapest restaurant, so on and so forth. That's another thing, restaurants. There's so much to do in Daytona, and I say Daytona, but I mean Florida. For Daytona Beach Bike Week, there's Orlando, just a hop, skip, and jump away. There's Tampa, Ybor City. Watch my last video. I will link it at the end of this video so that you can click on that and get a better idea. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. These are the kind of videos I put out. So, this is the bike I'm working on. I should be finished here in less than a month, I'm hoping. Got a lot of work. As a matter of fact, yesterday I finished tearing it down, and I'm cleaning as I go. So that has taken me a week. This bike was pretty rusty, dirty, uncared for, unloved for about 3 years, I want to say. It's just been sitting, and I'm bringing it back to life. So that's another video that I'll be putting out once I finish, and you'll want to see that. So with all that being said, you all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads, and I will catch you on the next one. Adios.